Hi guys, so I just wanted to do kind of a quick chatty vlog before the kids come home, and I'm just realizing now that my chai is actually really hot because I just got it out of the microwave. Anyway, so one thing that I realized the other day is that I haven't told you guys my whiplash is healed. Look at this! I can turn to the right now. Completely, all the way. How weird is that? Very cool. So the pain meds actually worked really, really well. After the pain itself, all like basically everywhere here and down the back of my neck and on my shoulder. Once that pain left, there was still a few more days afterwards where the headache was just, it was still there. And I think I mentioned before that I found sitting in class made it a little bit worse, so I still had to take it a couple times in class before everything was much better. But now I have complete mobility again, which is fantastic. Every once in a while I kind of have a spasm of pain through my shoulder, but it's like once every few days now, and it just is momentary and kind of like, oh, I moved that the wrong way type of thing. So that's fine. That's totally manageable. And as far as I'm concerned, this is healed. Yay! This makes me happy. And no, I'm not going to sing for you now. So the other thing, sorry. Chai. The other thing that I wanted to chat about was actually my day today. So this morning I had one of my monthly support group meetings, and it's been kind of an interesting few days. Sorry, the cat is moving around and moving the iPad. So yesterday a girlfriend of mine asked if I could help support her in a meeting for her daughter at high school. Her daughter has Asperger's. And she's having a really tough time just kind of even being in the school. So there's a lot of attendance issues and all this kind of stuff, but thankfully no academic issues. But unfortunately, the school for some reason unregistered her, and apparently sent a letter home stating this, but no letter was received and all this, and it was just kind of a matter of fact how they actually found out that she was unregistered, because she was still attending school. And yet, you know, nobody made the connection that she was attending school but wasn't registered anymore. So anyway, fast forward a couple months, they're now at the stage of putting together kind of an alternate learning program for this teenager. And she, basically it comes down to most of what she'll be studying is kind of self-directed studying. And she needs to only go check in once a week for 3 hours in an alternate space as well. So not even going into the class, or into the school, I should say. So interesting program. However, even more interesting in our world is that the student was actually the one that came across this program. The school, the guidance counselor, the learning resource teacher, all of these people at no point in time went, this child has a disability, is having an issue being in the school, therefore is missing a lot of school. Maybe we should come up with alternate plan. So it was actually the student, my girlfriend's daughter, who did all the research and discovered this program, and therefore I have to actually go and research this program because I've never even heard of it. But we're finding it interesting that there's such a big disconnect, you know. There'll be apparently letters going home about her attendance, letters trying to, you know, to state, well, we're going to unenroll you then, but no letter or even communication to say, maybe we should talk about this. So it was interesting sitting in on that meeting. I was very happy to sit in on that meeting, and my girlfriend asks me to come to these kinds of meetings with her because she finds that she gets very flustered, whereas I can ask the very logical questions of, okay, so how long is the time frame for this? You said that you need to do assessments. Our experience with that specific assessment, because it's the Woodcock-Johnson, is you're on a wait list for years. And they're like, oh, no, we can just do it on Friday. I'm thinking in my head, then how come I've been waiting for one to be done for my daughter for 2.5 years? Anyway, and then there's another assessment as well that's, you know, a few letters long that I can't remember what they are right now, to basically determine that there's no mental health issues that would be standing in the way of her success in this program. So great. Okay, so we did that yesterday, and then today I had my monthly support group meeting. I facilitate 2 support groups in town, and one is on the 2nd Tuesday of every month. The other one is on the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and they it's such a great feeling to actually go in, sit down with other moms. Sometimes there's some dads that attend as well, but sit down with other moms and just talk about, you know, today it really seemed to be a lot of what's normal in our world, which is very different from what's normal in other people's worlds most of the time. One of the moms was sharing, oh dear, what was the story? I can't think of it now, and I even asked if I could share it with you guys. Maybe it'll pop into my head. I can't remember now. You know, but just the norms in our worlds that are not normal in other people's worlds. And then near the end of the meeting, I actually then had to leave with this same girlfriend of mine, because she has multiple children that are on the spectrum, on very different needs on the spectrum. And her son decided today that he was going to flood all the urinals at school because he didn't want to be at school anymore. So he wanted to flood all the urinals and go home. When he's already on, you know, a different system for school where basically he does half days every day because his anxiety levels ramp up so much that he does stuff like this. And it's a thing where it puts us as parents between a rock and a hard place, right? Like, we know that the behavior is to get out of doing whatever they want to do and that they want to go home or whatever. It's like my son going and jumping from the back seat of the car into the front seat when he knows that we're going somewhere that he just doesn't want to go, or he just doesn't want to leave the house. Well, he does that, and therefore I can't drive anywhere, so therefore we don't go anywhere, which is exactly what he wants. So I'm kind of rewarding the behavior, but out of safety concerns, I have to. So she's in the same situation with this morning as well, where, you know, he wanted to go home. He had had enough for the day. They, you know, took their eyes off of him for 2 seconds, and he ended up flooding all the urinals. Now, really, that is funny. Come on. It is funny. But by the time we got there, he had actually self-soothed enough to return back into class and finish his half day. So we kind of went up there, like both of us are throwing our hair back, expecting to kind of basically drag him out of the school and drag him home because they've told us that he's in a meltdown. But by the time we got from the support group meeting to the school, which was about 20 minutes or so by the time we actually did the full thing, he had calmed himself down. So we just went down, we sat in the front office because it was like 20 after 12 by then, and he was doing his half day till 12:30, so we just waited. And in the 10-15 minutes that we were in the front hall, there was another student that came in, and he was having a little meltdown. And I say little because he's just a little itty bitty one, maybe grade 1, I think more SK. And the EA had to remove him from the classroom because he was having a meltdown, and another child came in and they had banged their head on some corner and all, like, it was pure chaos. Right? And one of the staff members was like, what's going on? Everybody's crazy today. And I'm like, I know exactly what's going on. And my girlfriend's like, tell them. I'm like, I don't go to school here. Like, I'm not a parent here. She's like, tell them. So I'm like, well, it is a full moon. And like, you could just see everybody go, oh yeah, right. So, and if you work in retail or you work in first responders or hospitals or anything like that, you know that there's a full moon without actually knowing there's a full moon. But the scientific people, have not been able to actually quantify or qualify, or whichever one it is, that this is actually an issue. But we all know it is. And then there was a whole other issue with my boyfriend's son at school as well. And I mean, he doesn't even have autism. It was just behaviors that were going on around him, and we had to pick him up from school, and oh my god, it's chaos today. Have you guys found that today? I don't know. I think too, the fact that it's really warm outside, and you know, we haven't had a real winter, and people are just getting miserable because it's not nice enough outside constantly that we can actually like be doing stuff. But on the other hand, it's kind of wet and miserable and just chill to the bone kind of thing. And I gotta tell you, oh dear, this is crazy. I actually looked out my windows yesterday. I mean, I look out my windows more than once, every once in a while. But, you know, yesterday I was staring out my back windows going, wait a second. If the weather continues, I am actually going to have to go out and weed my backyard. It is February in Canada, specifically in southern Ontario. We are supposed to be, you know, a foot deep in snow here. And, you know, now that I've said this, it'll probably have a snowstorm, but I understand that actually the east coast, I think it is, of Canada is supposed to be getting a huge, massive storm today and tomorrow. But it just seems like all of these storms have really like missed us here. And, you know, my parents live in the snow belt in southern Ontario, and they don't even have any snow. But yeah, I'm going to have to weed my backyard soon because I actually have things growing. That's how weird it is here right now. Anyway, so I've really just blathered on about pretty much nothing. But I just wanted to share kind of the craziness that has been today. And I kept forgetting to update you guys about my whiplash as well. So I wanted to let you know that as well. Oh, and one other thing I should update you on as well is that my niece and my sister-in-law are now home from the hospital, which is great. They've been home for 2 days now. Still trying to obviously get into the swing of things and figure out what they need to do and schedules and all that kind of stuff. But they've got lots of help there, which is great. I'm hoping that my daughter and I will be able to go this weekend, because my son will actually be at his dad's this weekend. So I won't have to worry about whether or not we can actually get there. My daughter and I can just hop in the car and leave. So anyway, I think I've babbled on enough here, and the kids are going to be home from school soon, so I better go make their snacks. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as well. I keep forgetting to ask you guys that. So anyway, talk to you later. Bye.